So with all of this coming out about Jeffrey Epstein, I can't help but wonder if Princess Diana's supposed missing tape of abused children in the royal kingdom had something to do with Jeffrey Epstein. It would make a lot of sense into why she was saying in her last interview that the royal kingdom was trying to discredit her in the media and were so scared of the power that she had. I will go ahead and show you guys that clip in just a little bit. And it would make even more sense now, knowing the information we do about the relationship between Jeffrey Epstein and Prince Andrew and everything that went on between them. And we know that Jeffrey Epstein and Ghislaine Maxwell have made multiple trips to the royal kingdom. And I'm pretty sure the relationship between Prince Andrew and Jeffrey Epstein came from Ghislaine Maxwell, as she was also very close to Prince Andrew and the Queen. And I'd say that this is through her father, shown in this picture right here. So this is where it draws me into the conspiracy that has went around for years of Princess Diana having a missing tape that was exposing abused children in the royal kingdom. And there's actually a news article where Jeffrey Epstein told a reporter that he has escorted Princess Diana in multiple occasions. But then I found a piece of information that can tie this conspiracy in even more. Princess Diana helped open a hotline for abused children right before she died. So I'm going to go ahead and show you guys that clip of her opening the abused hotline, and then I'm going to show you guys the clip of how she talks about the royal kingdom discrediting her and how they were afraid of the power that she had.
That you care for the nation's children, particularly the children who are feeling pain, but that you care and believe in this idea. We really value your support so much. And thank you for allowing us to show our gratitude to BT, who occasionally get knocked by consumer journalists and who really have made Childline possible. Thank you very, very much indeed. And I think we'd all love it, you two, if you could make it an official opening of our premises in London. Thank you.
Do you really believe that a campaign was being waged against you?
Yes, I did, absolutely. Yeah.
Why?
I was a separated wife to the Prince of Wales. I was a problem, full stop. Never happened before. What do we do with her?
Can't we pack her off to somewhere quietly rather than campaign against her?
She won't go quietly. That's the problem. I'll fight till the end because I believe that I have a role to fulfill. The campaign was, in that point, was being successful. But it did surprise the people who were causing the grief. It did surprise them when I took myself out of the game. They hadn't expected that. And I'm a great believer that you should always confuse the enemy.
Who was the enemy?
Well, the enemy was my husband's department because I always got more publicity. My work was discussed much more than him. And, from that point of view, I understand it. But I was doing good things, and I wanted to do good things.
But you really believe that it was out of jealousy that they wanted to undermine you?
I think it was out of fear, because here was a strong woman doing her bit. And where was she getting her strength from to continue?
Now it would make sense on why that conspiracy started in the first place. But drop in the comments and let me know what you guys think of the conspiracy of Princess Diana's missing tape.
It's wrong here. Dead giveaway. Dead giveaway.
Charles, thank you very much.
Giveaway.
Thank you.
Did you know that we live on a ship, and the ship that we live on right now is being invaded by pirates? So, according to Admiralty law, because we lived in the waters of our mother's womb, we can be ruled by it. And because of that, we've been literally turned into currency. Currency, and then currency, because what we see manifests into reality. See, we are caught up in this word spell where they got us operating from the space of a sea monster, but we're actually human beings. You see, you can birth a vessel to the dock, and you can also give birth to a vessel, which is the human body. And then that doctor docks the baby from the vessel of the mothership. So when you dock the vessel, or when you dock the ship, you are given a certificate of manifest. And when that baby is birthed into this world, or this vessel enters into the world around us, you are given a birth certificate. Because when you deliver products from one place to another, you're shipping those products to your destination. And then those products, they get delivered just like a baby is delivered through the waters of the womb. When you were living in your mother's womb, you were surrounded by amniotic fluid. So in other words, you can technically say that you were living in the sea. So metaphorically, we were all connected to the mothership through the navel of the umbilical cord. That's why the bank uses words like cash flow, liquid asset, drowning in debt, streams of income, because they understand money is an energy, it's a current. And using our mind's eye, if we look at the landscape from a bird's eye view of a city, it looks just like a motherboard. And that motherboard is full of currents of energy, which is us, that allow the city to grow and to build and to run. You see, the money that we use in this system is not real. It's only real because we make it real. But what's real is the currency of energy that exists all around us. And that currency of energy exists within us because our body is made up of 75% water. And because Rockefeller said that he did not want a nation of thinkers, he wanted a nation of workers, we have literally been veiled to the power that exists literally within us. If you ever paid attention to the word veil, veil is an anagram for the word evil. And if you think about it from a biblical perspective, the love of money is the root of all evil. It's not the money, it's the love of it. To love an inanimate object on that level is dangerous because you're taking the power that exists within you and now giving it to another entity. But we are the currency, and they make special laws to put that in place. So if the higher powers that be understand how much of value we are as currency, why don't we see the same thing for ourselves?
You were on the island?
I was apparently, I don't know. They said I was on the island. They said, I'm like, I don't go anywhere.
All right, guys. So we got to talk about the continued Hollywood meltdown / panic over the Jeffrey Epstein docs. Okay, as more information is coming out about who was on the list, who was associated with Mr. Epstein, and possibly associated with the activities that he was doing, participating in. Again, you having a full-blown freak out, okay? As people speculate who may or may not have been connected to Mr. Epstein, you're having people in Hollywood basically threaten to sue anybody who simply asks questions about whether or not there may or may not have been some connection. Like, for example, Jimmy Kimmel. There's a full-blown panic that is happening at ESPN after Jimmy Kimmel's and Bits got his panties in a bunch over Aaron Rodgers, insinuating that he might be on the list after Jimmy Kimmel's and Bits got upset or got triggered by Aaron Rodgers talking about the list on Pat McAfee's show. Okay, Jimmy Kimmel essentially tried to roast Aaron Rodgers first for simply asking questions about the list, even though Aaron Rodgers never said anything about Jimmy Kimmel. And Aaron Rodgers shot back at Jimmy Kimmel and said, hey, Jimmy Kimmel obviously is pretty nervous about the list coming out, right? He doesn't want the list coming out. And Jimmy Kimmel went into a full-blown meltdown, right? And now you have Pat McAfee basically running apologies on ESPN over Aaron Rodgers coming on the show and taking a jab at Jimmy Kimmel.
I can see exactly why Jimmy Kimmel felt the way he felt, especially with his position. But I think Aaron was just trying to talk shit. Now, did it go too far? And a lot of people... Jimmy Kimmel certainly said that was the case. We and I immediately upon it happening, trying to be like, ooh, but that is Aaron and Jimmy. They've been
jousting a bit.
I don't know, So, like, we obviously don't like the fact that we're associated with anything negative ever. We like our show to be an uplifting one, a happy one, a fun one, but it's because we talk shit and try to make light of everything. Some things, obviously, people get very pissed off about, especially when they're that serious allegations. So we apologize for being a part of it. Can't wait to hear what Aaron has to say about it. Hopefully those two will just be able to settle this.
Yeah, so you seen that, you heard that, okay? Who knows what may happen with Pat McAfee and ESPN. That marriage could be over sooner rather than later over Aaron Rodgers taking a jab at Jimmy Kimmel. Everybody's trying to make Jimmy Kimmel out to be some type of victim, even though this guy routinely uses his platform to make jokes about Trump and his family members in ways that I don't really think are appropriate. But hey, he's a comedian, and I'm not going to complain about him making the jokes. He's a comedian. But when somebody...
entertainer in Jamaica.
Bob Marley.
Yeah. I didn't pay that much attention to it. I didn't know. but he offered me $40,000 to be his opening act at Harvard Yard. I turned it down. And he came with so much humility to me. He said, man, I'm just so hurt you don't want to work with me. I said, yeah. Buffalo Soldier. They sent them niggas to the west to kill off the buffalo, to starve the Indians to death. So he started crying. He said, I didn't know that. I said, my mama didn't know it, my grandmother knew it, but she's not a genius like you. So he said, what can I say about it? But the humility. I said, I'll do it, but you can't pay me.
19, and I will display wonders in the sky above.
Oh, holy fucking shit, guys.
I think power adjust.
Oh no. Holy fucking shit. I don't think we'll be able to get video of it because it's probably raining around.
Oh,
Holy fuck.
no, I don't know.
Up to their mothership, and I asked a being there who, his name is Kinetic. He is a Pleiadian being, very beautiful, kind-hearted being who works for the Security Council, which deals with all matters of security on planet Earth. So I go to him, really, I've been going to him for over a decade now for information. So I said, yo, Kinetic, what happened? What's going on? Like, what was going on with these beings? I'll summarize what he told me, and then I'll just want to double check my notes and make sure I'm not missing anything. Essentially, Kinetic told me that was not it wasn't a plot by the government. It wasn't Project Bluebeam. It wasn't some sort of holographic thing. It also, it wasn't supposed to be disclosure. It wasn't really supposed to happen. And I said, what do you mean it wasn't supposed to happen? And he tells me, and this resonated at a very deep level, so I hope it does for you too. He said, Elizabeth, I don't think you realize how many interdimensional beings are all over your planet. There are beings who have permission to observe humanity and who are very interested and intrigued and curious about humanity. So these beings like to show up in public places. Sometimes they show up in malls, sometimes they show up at festivals, sometimes they love walking the Las Vegas Strip just to observe humanity, just to be among the crowd. That being said, most of the time, these interdimensional beings are completely invisible, right? They exist in a different frequency. They exist in a different dimension. 99.999% of the time, human beings cannot see the aliens that are walking around. So what happened? What happened is planet Earth got hit with a series of solar flashes in the past month. What does that do? It increases our vibrational frequency on planet Earth. So, the interdimensional beings that love just hanging out with humans undetected are all of a sudden showing up super casual, like, yep, we're here for the human party, and all of a sudden they're being seen. Right? So, this is why some of the first-hand witnesses and the accounts of the people who were in the mall said they looked like shadows because they could not see their full physical form. because they weren't in a high enough frequency to see their whole full physical form, but they were in a high enough frequency to see something. And so it just makes me laugh thinking about these three like aliens being like, yo, we're back at our like stomping grounds, we're hanging out at the mall, and they just show up in the middle of this mall, and all of a sudden everyone's looking at them screaming, and they're shocked, right? Because they've done this before. They have permission to do it. It was not meant for disclosure. It was not some sort of government ploy. Think about it this way. If it was a government setup, would they not be talking about aliens showing up at the mall? The whole point of Project Blue Beam and projecting an alien invasion is that all the news media outlets cover the alien invasion. They wouldn't be covering up something if that was the whole point. You know what I mean? So anyway, I was just kind of laughing at the whole like scene and the situation, how unexpected it was for everyone, especially the beings who showed up. Okay, I just want to read my notes. Oh yeah, okay. So then I had to ask Kinetic, what do you think about it all? You know what I mean? Like, this is it's a pretty wild situation. And Kinetic said, he said overall he thinks that it was okay. Like it was like it wasn't necessarily like beneficial or detrimental. But he said that they now have like this word of caution. Like, could you imagine like the CEO of a company needing to like send out an emergency email? Attention, all interdimensional beings who have permission to go to planet Earth. Just know, if you show up on planet Earth, you might be spotted. You know what I mean? Like, now all of a sudden, they have to be more aware of what they're doing, where they're going, and kind of assuming that they might be seen, right, nowadays, which is really cool. So what's going to happen is, moving forward, all over planet Earth, we are going to see more interdimensional beings. That's what's going to happen. And then I also picked up, so yeah, I mentioned this will keep happening all over the world, and there was no relation to Vegas. The whole Vegas thing, there was no relation. I did channel Vegas, I remote viewed what happened in Vegas, and yes, it was an extraterrestrial contact. That was also kind of an accident in a very different way, but there was no relation. That being said, thank you all so much.
I'm from outer space. I got Milky Way from blood, evolution in my veins. Let's go. I'm gone. I've been far away. I'm someone in. I'll make a move. Start a wave. I'm in my zone. The smoke got me on a new level. I'm
Pill and blue pill on Miami alien mall entities.
Hey, let me ask you this. Let's switch it up a little bit. What's your take on the whole alien in the mall in Miami thing that was going on? Is that pure buffoonery?
All right.
Any credibility to that at all?
When I saw the video from the artist, there's an artist who has a video where he drew the depiction as to what happened. And his explanation as to what took place is that a portal was opened up by a group of children who were in the mall with book bags on, basically, you know, playing around with a device, and they were, say it again?
With a device, right? A cube.
I said with a device.
Yeah.
So before I get into that device and speak about the theories about as to what's taking place, I want everybody to pay attention to who he said was in the building. Think Stranger Things, think Weird Science, think the same group of children in backpacks or teenagers in backpacks or hackers in backpacks that I just saw a video in Times Square where they were able to hack all of the screens. And what did they have? They had a book bag and a computer, and the youth are using something called a flipper. I don't know if anybody knows about the flippers, but the flippers are these handheld devices that you could basically hack electromagnetic security systems. You know what I mean? And that's what you could hack, like the McDonald's you know, signs and stuff like that, right? So I'm not saying that they're using something like a flipper and whatnot. What they may be using is VR technology or AR technology. They have a technology called Magic Leap. And what Magic Leap is what you're seeing in those billboards when it looks like a lion or something is jumping out. Now, Magic Leap, and you have Raspberry Pi, you can have these open source computers. It's my humble opinion that they're using something with quantum mixed with GPT, and they've hacked something, and they're now able to open up portals and whatnot. And the story has it that this group of young teenagers, not a group of teenagers fighting, although there were teenagers in the mall who were on their regular teenager shit, but this group of young teenagers, and I'm assuming that they're not all melanated and whatnot. They did not look like they were hood children. They went around, they had a device, they activated the device. The device basically started changing the electromagnetic field, and it opened up somewhat of a portal, and out of that portal, a hand and a leg came out of. And then there are words that they were quote unquote entities that came through this realm, and they were walking around the mall. They said that they were not walking around the mall like they were trying to chase anybody down. They were walking down the mall like they felt like they were lost in a different dimension and whatnot. Think Jonathan Majors, King the Conqueror with the multiverse. They said that they were not walking though. They said that they were literally glitching and moving and whatnot, going through walls. They were going through windows. Right. So they were like, if they wanted to catch people and get into kill mode, they could have done that. However, that's not what it is. Yes. And I have to keep everybody in mind of not only Project Bluebeam, but the fact that we are now in 2024. This is the era of VR, AR, SR, spatial reality, augmented reality, virtual reality,
Right.
the meta glasses.
XR. Right.
XR, right? Yes, mixed reality. So this is the beginning of a new cycle where you don't know what you see, because Midjourney 6 is putting out photorealistic pictures. There's no way to decipher anymore what is real from what is fake, and you could generate anything that you type in there, and now you can make it move with Runway ML. So this is the first time, but this will not be the last. This is the beginning of some type of deep you don't know what's real anymore. So
Ripley,
welcome to
believe it
that
or not.
quantum.
Right.
We're in the quantum leap.
Facts.
We're in the quantum leap. You're gonna see people who are said to be deceased. You're gonna see entities. I'm not gonna get in no type of things like that, but the situation that took place in Japan just now, right after the trailer came out for what? Godzilla versus King Kong, right? And then the scene where Godzilla was coming up, he was coming through the ground, and it looked as if it was an earthquake. They was even saying in all of the melee that was going on in Japan, there was rumors of some type of entity inside of all of that fire and whatnot. A lot of subterranean Dumbo underworld activity is moving, right? There's a lot of things going on. Remember, they went into the war with Hamas in the tunnels, and then there's how many earthquakes on January 1st?
Too many.
So they flooded the tunnel. They flooded the tunnel with the Mediterranean Ocean and whatnot. You don't know where those tunnels go to. You don't know where those subterranean. Them tunnels in the Mediterranean are ancient pathways to Middle Earth, stargates, and all kind of things.
Yes.
Indeed. No. Yeah. We definitely got to keep that in mind with the way technology is moving and what we're being shown on the internet. We just don't know. And Red always keeps us up to date. Technology is moving so fast, I can't keep up with it. But I always go to Red Pill. I think he's the perfect person to follow on Instagram and YouTube. He keeps us all up to date with the technology and what exactly is happening, what we need to be tapping into, what benefits us. So make sure y'all keep in touch with Red Pill with that. We did a workshop actually last year,
yes,
Masters in the Universe. And that was an amazing workshop. A lot of people
that has to be revisited.
That
that God actually exists. Except the God that exists, that created this universe and the multiverse, not in the Quran, not in the Torah, not in the Talmud, not in the Bible, not in the Sumerian tablets, not in the Egyptian Book of the Dead, not in the Mahabharata, not in the Bhagavad Gita, not in the Indian Vedas, not in the Epic of Atrahasis, not in the Epic of Gilgamesh. I can go on and on and on. Not in the Code of Hammurabi, not in the myth of Adapa. I can keep going. Guess what, guys? I'm one of the foremost world leader in the knowledge on ancient texts and tablets, scriptures, papyrus, and cylinder scrolls. And guess what? In all the ones I've gone through, over thousands over the years, not one of them is speaking about the creator of the universe, which is real. I acknowledge that. Matter of fact, so did the Anunnaki. They claimed to know that they were going to get in trouble for what they did on this planet by the creator of all, which tells you that they knew they weren't the creator of all, that there was somebody even above them. An entity, an energy, a life force of something above them that had a say-so, and they would have to find judgment one day. So they knew they weren't God, even though they
So for those who follow me, you know it's been a hot topic for me to talk about how the weather and stuff we've been experiencing isn't normal and that nature's been acting out, and right now I am holding physical proof of that. Dexter actually found this little guy. It's a baby grasshopper. And he was just out chilling in the sun. Now I'm telling y'all, there are never baby grasshoppers out in January in the mountains of Colorado. This is not normal. I'm telling you, if you pay attention to nature, the insects, the birds, the mammals, the fish, all of it, they're all acting out. They're all doing things that they don't normally do. They're being active when they're not normally active. It's whack. This is not a normal season. And look, here's another one right here. The grasshoppers are not supposed to be active in January. He just hopped up right next to me. This is not normal.
This is the snow that I melted today. And then I put a big magnet on the outside of this glass. And I'm just rolling the magnet around the glass. That's what I'm doing. See? Magnet, glass. That's pretty creepy. Anyone guess why we have that in our water? Let's see what we could do over here. Oh, nice. That's great. Very weird. All right. That's all of that. Be safe.
You why nobody wants to talk to y'all behind closed doors, because y'all lie. That's just the bottom line. You have done it thus far in this investigation. You have done it this far as it relates to this committee. In every single hearing, y'all spin. I don't know how y'all are still standing right now, because you should be quite dizzy from all the spinning that you're constantly doing when it comes to spinning the truth. You talk about free and fair elections, but you back a guy who we know tried to steal the election. And this isn't about what Democrats have to say. Let me remind you, for those of you that don't know how the justice system works, it's not a matter of the president went in and indicted Trump, but we are talking about grand juries. Grand juries are comprised of American citizens, and the people that have entered pleas of guilty that will be flipping on your leader in a minute, they are Republicans. I do want to point that out. And half of them were Republicans that were handpicked by Donald Trump himself. So, to be clear, whatever happens to your little leader, it's going to be because of the actions that he took. So you can talk all you want to about how January 6th was nonsense, but all of y'all were running at that time. Y'all were grabbing y'all's gas masks, and y'all were running to your offices because you didn't know if they were coming to kill you. You should have cared that somebody was there to protect you, but instead you want to play games because you found out that it was your leader that decided that he wanted to propagate an insurrection on our country. So don't tell me that you care about the Constitution, because you don't. All you care about is Trump getting reelected, and I'll yield the last of my time to my leader.
Thank you very much.
All along.
So Danny bets me like $20 that I wouldn't do it, and of course I'm like, yeah, sure, what's the deal? You know?
And then the cops showed up and you got arrested, pretty much.
They
should have, but they didn't.
This interview is from an April 2002 episode of The Rosie O'Donnell Show, where Ashton and Mila discussed their first kiss on the set of That 70s Show. What's unsettling is the realization that by this time, Danny Masterson had already been accused of rape. The public just didn't know about it yet.
You know what's funny is when she was 14 when we started the show. I was like 19, right?
Right.
And they're like, okay, you guys are going to be making out in this scene. And I'm like thinking like, wait, this is like slightly illegal,
that's
right?
probably your first kiss ever, right?
He was my first kiss. He never got his
You were
tongue
very
out.
excited.
You didn't, Ashton. Just admit it.
She
Dad, I swear.
She's 14. She didn't. You stop it.
She would know that was not the first. You had turned 15 by then.
No, she was 12, but I know it.
There's a big difference. That 1 year makes the whole world change.
All right.
What can you tell me about the Grand Canyon, what it means to your people? Well, the Grand Canyon, the Zuni people and other Pueblo tribes, this is considered our place of origin, not only in terms of religion, but also spirituality, about where our forefathers and our ancient ones came out of. Is there anything in your creation stories that talks about some of these mysterious caves, maybe even the one that could possibly hold Egyptian artifacts? In our spiritual teachings, there are actually rooms inside the Grand Canyon, and there's several passageways. Right. So that parallels with some of the history about the early 1900s, and also about some of the treasures that a lot of Indian tribes talked about. Are there any stories about what might be in some of these caves? I've heard a lot of different stories from different tribes that talk about these treasures that are supposedly in there. But then also I heard about the pyramid that's supposedly inside the Grand Canyon. A pyramid? A pyramid. So Clifford, your oral stories say that there were cities inside of these caves and pyramids in the Grand Canyon. I absolutely believe in that because there's been a lot of different crossing of different cultures in this part of the world. It's my understanding that there's a lot of Egyptian type relics and artifacts that were taken from.
Why I'm like this, but I kind of love it because even when I'm wrong, I know that the whole time my mind kept me entertained, bro. It's wild in here, bro. It's wild. But look, I gotta put you guys on to this 9-month cruise thing. If you guys haven't heard of this thing that's going on with this 9-month cruise, bro, that just got my radar up, bro. That got my radar buzzing. That got red flags all over the field, and I'm just like, wow. But I've been following this story, bro, because there's so many different people on this boat, and they are creating content. They're letting us know what's going on. There's a doctor, there's an author, there's 2 black sisters, there's an elderly retired couple. I love them. They're my favorite. There's a couple other content creators. There's this other content creator that was invited on the boat by this he was sponsored to be on the boat by this company, and he's reviewing a book. And the book that he's reviewing, the name of the book is called The Last One. Now, this is just all speculation, y'all. Like, I'm a weirdo. This is for conspiracy theorists. This is for esoteric thinkers. This is for my people that are just nerds, geeks, you know what I'm saying? This is for my people that just like to think and just let the mind go, you know what I'm saying? So this is all that it is, and I'm just looking at the facts and everything that's going on, right? But these are the important things that are just buzzing my radar. Like the last one is a phrase that has been very popular within our conspiracy theorist community, especially with Leaving the World Behind. Leaving the World Behind. The movie, right? Leaving the World Behind. Now, this kid gets invited to be on the boat, and he's entertaining, bro. He got on this boat, and he kept it 100 about the flooding, about the conditions, about the staff, about the food, about everything, about the water, about not even having drinking water in the room, and the price of the... This guy keeps it 100. I love it. He's entertaining about it, bro. But this doctor too, she just gave us an update, and this is what got my radar buzzing, bro. Like, I'm like, but this is all speculation. This shit ain't real. This is why I'm not showing you people's pictures and profiles and things of that nature. If you know about the 9-month cruise, if you haven't heard about it, just look it up here, because TikTok will just make it for you, all of that, right? But this is what's really, 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 really raising red flags for me, and it's kind of worrisome for real. You know what I'm saying? These people, their itinerary was just changed, right? So now, guess where they're gonna be going? And this is what's gonna blow us conspiracy theorists out of the water. And this may be nothing. And I hope and pray to God that they're safe the whole way through and nothing happens. You know what I'm saying? But these people are going through the Drake's Passage, bro, twice into Antarctica. They're going through the Drake's Passage. There's swells in the Drake's Passage, bro. Look up Drake's Passage swells. Just look up Drake's Passage swells. There are swells in this passage that is just, bro, I'm a sailor. I was in the Navy. I was on an aircraft carrier, bro, and we hit swells, and that shit is no joke. You know what I'm saying? But anyways, so they're going into Antarctica and then coming out of Antarctica through the soil again. So this is just something that I'm just paying attention to, because this is just me. I'm just a weirdo, and I want to make a video about it because I don't want to sit here with my own thoughts and not have nobody to talk about it. And I remember I have a whole community to talk to about this, and this is all speculation. Like, we wish and hope for the best and safe travels for these people. And you know, this is just for entertainment purposes. We just chilling, killing some time.
Pissed on that cruise ship. Let me break down this Royal Caribbean cruise drama going on, because I done went down a rabbit hole. So basically, it's this 9-month cruise. 9 months, and they're gonna go to all 7 continents. First off bat, it's like, whoa, that sounds intense. 9 months on the sea, under the sea. I'm not the Little Mermaid. But if you're a traveler like some of these people, or you just want to see new things and you got the money, that's perfect. Now, this user in particular, I watched her video, and she broke down a lot of frequently asked questions. It was allowed to bring on 6 bags, I believe, up to 5 devices, because this kid's there. The kids there are homeschooling. Certain people there are working remote. But this is when the mess come in, because they don't like each other. It's been like 10, 11 days, they getting sick of each other, which is understandable because you're confided in these small places. I'm seeing you every day, and we got 9 months. And the food probably not it. That burger bar can only take you so far. But the other mess, this user right here, I think her name is Brandy. I went to her TikTok page because I ain't gonna lie, I was like, where the black people at? But it says in her bio, she is a traveler. She did a TikTok and stated if one more person asks her if she's the staff, and then when she tell them, oh no, I'm not a staffer, I'm a guest on the trip, they've been doing that look, So you must be like an independent worker or something like that. Basically wondering how she afforded. That's that passive aggressive stuff. She stated it's gonna be a long 9 months. And then someone that caught the cover, they got her in isolation, but it's gonna be a long 9 months. Now I'm hearing some don't have to do the whole 9 months and they could like drop off. But you know, they're saying it's favoritism going on. It's gonna be a long 9 months, and I'm sure I'm gonna be checking in on it. Just be safe, y'all.
Hey guys, what's up? It's Ultimate World Cruiser here, Christian, and we are in Drake Passage now, and the water is just so powerful. The confluence of the Atlantic and the Pacific, I believe, is what we're dealing with just south of South America. The captain just came on the intercom, and he mentioned that the water is 12,000 feet deep, and he said it was 4,000 meters deep. And then we're getting like 60-mile-an-hour gusts, or 60-knot gusts of wind, and we're getting like 20-foot swells. So basically, you know, it is deep, and it is powerful. It is deep, it is powerful, and that's what she said. That's what she said.
As we head through the Drake Passage, the winds are high and the ship is rocking. Seasick bags are at every stairwell and elevator at the ready. They've drained the swimming pools in preparation. The windjammer, although people are there, it's a little quieter today. They're not letting us out on decks 12 and decks 5 due to the high winds and water. I've got my seasick pills ready to take. I'm feeling good right now, but I may take one just as a preventative to stay on top of things. The ship is really rocking today. This should be some of our worst waves throughout our entire world cruise. We'll get through it, just a day or two here. I'll keep you posted.
Director ND, and if you didn't know, the Ultimate World Cruisers have officially arrived at the Drake Passage. I am Brandy Lake went on live this morning, and she ran into Captain Stig. She was able to get him on the live, and we got to hear what he had to say. Let's check it out. I have a big surprise for y'all. Captain Stig, will you go live on TikTok? I don't know if I should be a little worried that he's not in the bridge right now because we're about to get to the passage, but here's the captain live!
Yes, I was just there, so everything is under control.
I'm sure it is. I told everybody we're in the best hands. So have we made it to the passage yet?
Yes, we are in Drake Passage.
So we are actually in it.
We haven't passed the latitude of Cape Horn yet, but with the wind direction, this is the full force of Drake Passage.
So this is the worst of it?
Well, it might get a little bit worse.
So this is not too bad.
No, it's not too bad at all.
Y'all, this is an exclusive right here. We got to hear it from the captain. We are actually in the Drake Passage, and this is as bad we hope as it's going to get. Yes. Thank you so much.
And by 9 o'clock tomorrow morning, we will be already in Antarctica.
9 o'clock. Y'all want to know when to be in Antarctica. And we might see a glacier, maybe?
We will see glaciers, yes, and the big iceberg, we don't know yet.
Okay. Okay.
I'll let you know.
Look at that. Thank you so much, Captain Stig. Now look at that. Shout out to our girl Brandy Lake for getting an exclusive with Captain Stig. If you're not following her, be sure to do so. Now, to give you guys an idea as to how big the waves are, I'm going to show you two videos. The first one is Gigi. She posted it. She's on the 7th floor in the balcony room. And then Adita, she's on deck 8, and she has a window view of the helipad. And those waves, whew. She's on the 7th floor. She said sorry for the language. Baby, I was just saying more than that. Don't apologize. Keep in mind, Adita is on deck 8. And the wave you're about to see hits her window. Like, her window. Yeah, I'm good. And did y'all see that Royal Caribbean has barf bags all over the ship? As they should. Because if I was on the ship during the Drake Passage, I would need a whole stash of them. My motion sickness could never. All right, y'all. If you're not already, be sure to be following me for all Royal Caribbean Ultimate World Cruise updates. This is your CT Director ND. Over and out.